So sometimes I feel like people forget how long of a game this actually is, how long it takes for these market cycles to play out. A lot of people will get very bearish very quickly. But yet, despite that, we're doing some very important things on the ADA charts. We've had a nice little move overnight that we'll talk about here in this video, as well as something that historically is happening for both ADA and BTC. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So I have to say, before we get into the charts here, we have very different sentiment. So the bearish people are incredibly bearish, the bullish people are incredibly bullish, and there's this huge variance in terms of price projections. Some people say that ADA is going to be stuck around, $2. They wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't even break that, which is kind of actually, it's really bizarre to me. And yet we have people that are extremely bullish talking about ADA following fractals from prior cycles. And in fact, that projects that ADA may in fact surge all the way up to this $15 range. Now, this is actually right on line with the range that we've been talking about between $7 to $15 ADA. Understand that that doesn't mean I'm saying this is going to happen right now. This would be a late market move. And this is exactly what Ollie Charts is projecting. If ADA follows exactly what it did last trend, that would put us somewhere up in that $15 range, which frankly would make a lot of sense. There's been a lot of developments, possible integrations for the Cardano ecosystem. Obviously, it's coming online in a big way. Stables coming. I mean, all these different things can help move, ADA even further. And that's just from use within the blockchain. That's not even, if it gets big government integration or if the treasuries put on Cardano or, any of those big things come to fruition, then we might need to be starting to talk about even higher prices still. But what I will say is that, $2 ADA doesn't really make a lot of sense as the peak. It's lower than the prior cycle high. We're performing better than we were last market cycle. And by that, I mean, we're following the law of diminishing returns, but we're not off trend, which is a very good sign. Now, what I will say is that obviously ADA right now, it's sucked from this drop that we had across the crypto market. Most assets right now, for those that are trying to dog ADA about where price is at, most assets are down 25% at least from whence they started. Okay. ADA's in a very comfortable spot right now. And why I'm saying that is we are currently sitting right on top of our 200-day moving average. Now, ADA hasn't really had to test this as support many times before. It's usually actually a focal point of resistance for ADA. And this can be dated all the way back to the last bull market cycle heading into the bear. You guys can see this 200-day moving average, this green line, resistance, 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 until it finally broke in the early part of the bull market cycle. It extended. We were doing well. Then we fell back below as we started to fall into the summer lull, the big correction, right? And then the 200-day resistance, 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 resistance. And now once again, we're doing the same thing. However, ADA is actually nestled in right above these ranges. Despite our flash crash in the crypto market, which brought us below it, ADA is comfortably sitting on top of this right now. Now, it doesn't mean it's always going to be the case. We have to see, what happens. We've had a nice little push overnight to above 75 cents. Right now, we're floating right around there. We'll see what happens as U.S. money comes online for the day. Hopefully it's another green day. I'd like to see a lot of resilience in the market right now. But this is where ADA is actually showing a little bit more strength than it has in the rest of the market cycle, right? It's actually showing even a little bit more strength than what it did back here. All right. The foundational support is stepping in. People are accumulating. The convicted holders are building their positions, and they're not really wanting to let price drop below here. So we'll see if that does in fact hold. I would really watch support right at about 70 cents or so if we do get some downside. And really what I'm expecting heading into tomorrow, which is the jobs report again, is some volatility. We've again always had movements on these. I don't want to say always. The last probably 4 or 5 times we've had volatile movements on these jobs reports. Some of them have been manipulation. Understand that. I can't remember if it was 2 jobs reports ago or 3 job reports ago. The second the jobs report was dropped, like instantly, people didn't even read it, sold the news. Manipulation in the market, trying to push things down. Now, that being said, it's a question of how much further can they push the market down right now? I don't want to bet against market makers, but they might have an idea of what they want to do here. And in fact, when we look at BTC, all right, some people, I saw a viewer actually reference this, and this is a good point. So they actually referenced a BTC fractal from all the way back in the 2016, 2017 bull market. And this is actually the cycle I've said many times we most closely resemble. And in fact, when we look at the BTC chart now versus the BTC chart back in 2016, 2017, it's the same, right? Sure, there's some variations in price, some higher highs, some lower lows. That tends to be how they play out. But what this shows right now is we're following what we've historically done. And that's a very good sign. Anybody that's saying, "Oh yeah, we're not following history. This isn't what's happened." It is, right? And it's not always exactly the same. Never have we had a big liquidation event like we just did to that magnitude, right? But yet the market is showing resilience. We're actually sitting, for example, on the total three, right above our bull market support band, actually. So, which I'll get to that a little further in just a moment here. But what this shows is if we follow what we did in 2016, 2017 on the BTC fractal, we might be prepping for a breakout in the crypto market. And we really need to ask ourselves, what is that bad right now that crypto would see a drop? Really ask ourselves that. Are we going to, hear about a recession or something like that within the next 2 weeks here? Because this is a weekly chart. Probably not, right? If that something like that is coming down the line, it's probably going to be further down the line. I know I've had some disagreements with people on that, but we're not seeing negative enough stuff right now to push us lower. Hopefully that makes sense. Could we get another black swan event? Sure. There's you never know when they're going to happen, when they're going to take place. What I still will say is obviously leverage across crypto market has dropped in a big way, and it's kind of opened up this door for things to move further to the upside. And in fact, what's really exciting about this is there's still a lot of people that are betting against the market and trying to short and push things down, and it's not really working. So that is a very key sign. You're seeing a lot more resilience down in these ranges now from retail, especially as retail bought up this dip in a big way. And that again brings me to the total three. So I want to point out right now we are on top of our bull market support band. Okay. And that's despite the flash crash, despite this dropping down to our 50-week moving average here. We are currently above this and holding. All right. Now we want to stay in these ranges. We want to close our weekly candle above here. And this could be where, again, we get a nice little slingshot to the upside. I'm not guaranteeing or saying that that's 100% going to happen. But when we look at the summer here in 2024, obviously we had a lot of negative events, black swan events that really push the market down in a big way. And then things like to separate and go on runs, right? This does not like to stay stagnant for a long time. In fact, I would argue that we're following very similar to what altcoins did back at the early part of 2024. You guys can see that we had a little green, we got into some chop, and then basically that week of February 5th is when we started to move. We had basically 6 straight weeks of green candles, followed by a very volatile week and then another week of green. That may be what we see moving forward here. Again, when we look at search volume now compared to what it was back then, it's higher. Interest in the crypto market is higher than it was back then. There's more embrace right now. There's a lot of things that are working in our favor for the not so distant future. So that's definitely what I would keep in mind moving forward. Now, people can do whatever they want. Me personally, I put a lot of money in the market yesterday. I picked up a lot of positions, ones I had been just hoping for discounts on. And I just keep building my position, because I know that there's going to be a point where the market just runs away and leaves everybody behind. And that's kind of my mindset here is pick up positions while I can, because prices won't be cheap forever. So now I will say I did open up an ADA position on BTCC. And for those that were asking, I did actually film a video on how to trade leverage on BTCC and Margex, which I'll get that live later today. So people can obviously check that out and have an idea of what they're doing there. Now, this is currently down about 3.5%. I really wanted to open up lower, but I did it in the video just to kind of show people how to do it. But this is a really, really small one. I would have rather done it at like 72 cents in terms of ADA. But if you guys do want to use, obviously, BTCC, you can earn up to $10,000 in deposit and trading bonuses. There's no KYC. You can earn a 10% deposit bonus on your first time deposit above $500. So let me know your thoughts. Are you excited about what is to come here? There's a lot of things that are pointing towards some very nice movement in price in the not so distant future here. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.